Good morning and welcome in Monday morning edition, April 29th of SimWorld. Today, I am Marsh, joined as I always am on Mondays by B-Ron. Good morning, B-Ron. We had a exciting day.
Yeah, we really did. We had a great weekend of sports over, SWBA, SimWorld U, SimWorld Practice, a lot of stuff to go through, man. We got a busy show.
We do indeed. Let's start where you started, SWBA, and we can start where the league started with a entertaining game between the Knicks and the Sixers. The Knicks pull it out 97-92. The Sixers fade in the fourth quarter. Joel Embiid fades himself in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks now up 3-1, headed back to New York for game five.
Yeah, and it's really a shame to see the Knicks, the almost things wrong this morning, 76ers fade like they did in this game because they were in it. They were in it for majority of the game and
Yeah.
just ran out of steam at the end. And now as a result, they're, down 3-1 and one more game and their season is over.
Yeah, I mean, a disappointing way for Embiid to go out. And I don't know if, he really struggled in the fourth quarter. He played 44 minutes. He misses that last layup there with
Mhm.
sub a minute left, I think it was, that would have pulled that thing closer. But, I don't, it just felt like he ran out of gas. But at the same time, I thought what the Knicks did, and this is why having a center that is a traditional back to the basket center is so dangerous because the Knicks just were relentlessly bringing double teams on
Mhm.
on Embiid in that fourth quarter. They were essentially saying, we're not going to let him just take his time and get operational. And so they forced the ball out of his hands and they got nothing, the Sixers, from anybody except Tyrese Maxey. And even Maxey, 8 of 21, 3 of 9 from deep, was not all that great in this game. So it was I thought, to give credit to the Knicks, a phenomenal effort from them. And that's where they've beaten the Sixers in the series, B-Ron. They've beaten them by being more aggressive. Last night they were phenomenal on the rebounds, 52 to 42 advantage. A ton of those were offensive board. Josh Hart had 5 offensive rebounds. The team
Yeah.
had 15 as a whole to the Sixer or to the Knicks, no, to the Sixers, excuse me, 9. This was an effort, and this has been an effort series since the
Hmm.
beginning, and the Knicks have continually brought it. Yes, Brunson was awesome. 47 on 18 of 34, 10 assists. He was sweet. But this was an effort win from the Knicks that they've been doing all series long.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it too, shout out to Tyree to Jalen Brunson as well. Career high in the playoffs, 47 points. He did his thing as well. And when you have dueling stars between, Knicks and 76ers, we know Embiid had the big 50-point game the other day. But for him to play like he did in this one, now I'm not saying 50 points to be the norm all the time, because I mean, I think even in today's NBA with all the scoring that's going on, I think even still that's uh not something you want to expect every game from a player. But Brunson getting the career high 47 points, yeah, he definitely did his part in the game. And like you said, rebounds are crucial. We see all the time, even here in calling these games in Prep Marsh, we see all the time rebounds are crucial for a lot of these games. A lot of these teams that have the size advantage can really hammer it home by grabbing more rebounds than the other team.
Josh Hart, 17 boards in 46 minutes. OG Anunoby, 14 in 47 minutes. Precious Achua, 7 in 20 minutes. Now, this was not a clean game. The Sixers shot 35, the Knicks shot 43. So you were going to get a lot of misses, but just the total number of extra possessions that the Knicks pulled away with, incredible performance from them. Let's move to the other really impressive one. The Clippers, who needs Kawhi Leonard? James Harden.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that we've got two massive James Harden games, but we do indeed. 33 points last night. Paul George, 33 as well. And the Clippers avoid blowing a 31-point lead, walk out of Dallas, a series tied 2-2, headed back to Los Angeles. And the question now is, do you get Kawhi back? And truthfully, do you need him back? Game three, or excuse me, game five is on Wednesday, game six, not until Friday.
I still think you need Kawhi Leonard. I think I don't think it could hurt personally. Um, to have him back in the lineup and playing along with Harden and Paul George. That just gives you another option if you're the Clippers, and if you're the Mavs, or if you're the Mavs, you have to try now to stop all three of them if they're all on the floor at the same time.
I mean, look, you're not gonna because you're right and you're wrong in that you're not gonna win the series without a healthy Kawhi Leonard. But the way Kawhi looked in games 2 and 3, he was clunky, he was rickety, he did not look elite Kawhi Leonard. And if
Right.
that's the version you're gonna put out there and he's gonna play 35 minutes of not great basketball, then
Hmm.
okay, sure. Then I don't think that it benefits this group who is now 2-0, mind you, without Kawhi in the series because your game, you just are going to defer to start putting the ball into Kawhi's hands, right? You're going to
Yeah.
do that because you are used to that being the product. But I still think that this is a team. This makes sense to me that Dallas and LA would be tied because for as great as the Mavericks are with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, who
Hmm.
40 points from Kyrie, 29 from Luka. Kyrie goes nuts. 6 to 12 from deep. This team just, and much like the Clippers, they don't have other guys outside of this. I mean, Derrick Jones is
Right.
14, but it's slashing, it's hitting a couple threes. PJ Washington has 10 points, but it's these guys, neither team is a group that has a ton of on-ball creators behind their stars. And that's what a lot of these series have come down to is
Yeah.
we've got two guys with the basketball and they're going to go out and they're going to score a lot. And the Knicks are an abnormality to that. The Sixers are a little bit, but not too much of an abnormality to that. Here are and the Knicks are only an abnormality because I say they just play with an effort style that extends possessions. At the end of the day, they have one guy that goes out and gets a basket. This is just two teams with great single guys and then a
Great
lot of
stars.
question marks outside of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And we again to compare it to some more prep here, we talk about all the time here in prep with these, 1 star teams. Not that these teams have 1 star because they have 2 and 3 in these cases. George Harden and Leonard for the Clippers, and for the Mavs, it's Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Everyone else is kind of there hanging around, putting up numbers where they can. But I do still think that the Mavs take this series though. Um, Something about this team just gives me the feeling that they'll win the series eventually and advance to the next round.
Well, they are knotted at two apiece. Like we said, game 5 is on Wednesday. We'll see about Kawhi Leonard. There is no game 5 for the Phoenix Suns. They fall last night 122, 116. There's not really much to talk about with the Pacers and Bucks as the Pacers run away with that one. Um, the Timberwolves, you watched this game be wrong last night, and the thought that I kept coming back to was, my goodness, Minnesota just has guy after guy after guy that can pop up, and I say, oh, I like him with the basketball. Oh yeah, okay, he can make a bucket. Oh, that's nice. I mean, look, Jaden McDaniel, 6 of 12, gets rolling downhill. Obviously,
Mhm.
Anthony Edwards has an awesome night. 7 3-pointers, 40 points, game
Yeah,
sealing,
insane.
essentially game sealing dunk on Kevin Durant. Towns with 11 of 17. Mike Conley didn't play well, but he's had good nights this series. Nas Reed is a sixth man of the year. Nikhil Alexander Walker can get frisky for you. This Minnesota team, they're good. And the one question mark about this group was, were they going to be able to get rolling in the playoffs? I thought Phoenix was a bad matchup for them. Turns out it was a great matchup for them.
Yeah, and this for me, I guess I'm not too surprised, even though Phoenix does have guys like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. I the Timberwolves are a good young team, and I figured they'd find a way to get it done. Did I think they would sweep them? No, but I did think they would win the series. But still, Timberwolves, man, like you said, they have some ballers on this team, and it is really it's really fun to watch a young team like the Timberwolves kind of play like they are and do as well as they are now going forward to the next round and waiting to see who they play next.
Well, I think there's a big question mark about. Let's go to Phoenix here
Yeah.
before we move on to SimWorld, some other notes. But this team feels like you can't bring it back, but I don't know how you don't. Uh, they essentially had a 6-man rotation last night because they got nothing from Bradley Beal, 4 of 13.
Yeah.
He had this is a sequence at the end of this game, B-Ron, that stood out to me. And it was this perfect embodiment of how bad this Bradley Beal decision to go out and get him was. Scores 113, 111. The Suns are swinging the ball around the floor. It comes to Beal in the corner. He drives to the rack, and instead of going up to try to score on Karl Anthony Towns, he tries to bounce pass it to KD in the corner. It's picked off by McDaniels. Ball heads the opposite direction. Beal gets matched up with Anthony Edwards, tries to go for a steal. Ant blows right past him, dunks on Kevin Durant. Next possession down, Beal tries to drive to the rack. He bounces the ball off of himself, his second of 6 turnovers in this game. Well, sixth of 6 turnovers. That goes out of bounds, heads the opposite direction. Then at half court, he fouls Anthony Edwards by reaching in. He fouls out, and then Ant hits 2 free throws, makes it 117, 111 with about a minute and change left. Ended up being 122, 116. This was a massive, unneeded and complete whiff to go out and get Bradley Beal by the Phoenix Suns. And he's got a no trade clause. I don't know that he's going anywhere. I don't know that KD can go anywhere. I know that all
Yeah.
the talk is going to be about him wanting to go elsewhere. I don't know that he can. But this team, man, is not good. And I continue to hate. And this happened 2 seasons ago in the offseason with the Lakers. It happened last summer with the Suns. All these veteran deep teams that go out and get minimum signings, and it's like, oh, this is a great name. Look at who they got. They went out and they signed Eric Gordon. They got Josh Okogie. This team, they've really hit all the minimum signings. Dudes are minimum signings for a reason. We need to stop caring when a minimum signing on a big star team, unless it's a team that's like every star is in their prime and not in their
Hmm.
early 30s and
Right.
past it, or mid 30s and still awesome, but clearly not elite.
So Kevin Durant to the T-Wolves this whole season. I heard you.
Or back to OKC. Those are the only 2 options for him if he's trying to ring chase. Maybe he finds a way to get to Denver. But all right, we're gonna move to SimWorld U, where our Elite Eight results are in. We have a Final Four. It's Creighton, it's UConn, it's Kansas, it's Miami. Anything that stands out to you, B-Ron, of those four?
I think the obvious ones are Tennessee and Kentucky being knocked out by the two seeds in Kansas and Creighton. For me, that's the biggest surprise because we know how well both these teams were playing throughout Bedlam, and then the talent they have on those teams. Unfortunately, sometimes you just have an off night like Trey Turner did, for example, for Tennessee. What do you have, 8 points? Not a typical
Yeah.
Trey Turner game that you expect to see and hear from a player of his caliber. So for me, those are the two biggest surprises. But Miami continuing to roll is just the other one where Miami just, man, I don't know who stops it. I don't know if that offense can be silenced at this point. It's gotten so hot over the past month or so of play between the conference tournament and basketball bedlam that it's just good luck. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, 97-86 win for Miami. That is the closest win that they've had in terms of they've been blowing everybody else out. That's their closest win that was actually a competitive basketball game. But you're right. I mean, Kentucky and Tennessee going down. I think this has been an awakening on the scene of Madison Miles III, who had 4 threes in
Hmm.
Kansas's upset, and Jermaine McLemore, who's been phenomenal all season and all series and all playoffs. I mean, 44-16 when they beat Ohio State, 26-13 when they beat Illinois, and then 24-8 last night or this weekend against Xavier. This guy is good, as is Madison Miles. And, are either of them going to be future number 1 picks? Probably not. You're going to look at Jamison Johnson. You're going to look at, Caden Ship, the Cooper Flags of the world.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the guys. But those two have been phenomenal. You have any picks? So we've got UConn going up against Kansas and Miami going up against Creighton. Your pick for the national championship game. What do you got?
I'm gonna take Kansas and Miami.
Kansas and Miami. All right, I'm going UConn, going for the repeat, and Miami's just been too good. all season long.
Yeah.
All right, let's head to
Hmm.
Saturday. We had a couple games in action. We had a four-piece on the SimWorld docket. We started at early morning, 11 a.m., where the OGs demolish Middle East 79-57, 26 points from Cooper Flag. Christ Coates with 7 assists in the win.
And over there on the boat, ATL, they had a impressive, well-rounded win over SimWorld Oceania, 85-76. Royce Hanson led the way with 20 points. Bevis and Patches, though, 14 points, 11 assists, 3 steals. Kid was active all over the place. It was insane. Really good game for ATLians in that one.
Don't sleep on Latin America. 21 from Red Jointer, 24 and 9 from Richard Hennessy. And they take down with ease the Queen City Kings 79-57, their eighth win of the season.
Speaking of taking down with ease march, Run DMV, man, stun Lakeshore Drive, 75-57. I don't think anybody saw that coming, but I don't think anybody else saw, the combination of Keith Singleton, Cam Jones, and Kadarius Rumph really balling like they did. Rumph double-double, 11 points and rebounds, to be exact. Singleton led the way, 22 points. And Cam Jones, 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field, but from three-point land, 3 for 5. Really good showing from Cam Jones.
That game was over in the first quarter. All right, that is our show. We will be back tomorrow. We'll be talking more SWBA playoffs. We are still waiting patiently with our coffee in our hands for some Tuesday hoops. That'll be SimWorld Prep, Beast of the East, South America coming to you on Tuesday at noon. So another night off on the prep action, but we're back tomorrow morning, same time, same place. We will talk to you then. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on SimWorld TV, only place you can see the game, be the game.